ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत इति मे निश्चिता मतिः। So far we have seen the questions that have been raised about the topic of this text. What is the objection? The objection is the prayojana of this text, that is the destruction of bondage by knowledge is inappropriate, is baseless. Why? Because the bondage, as we have said, is not superimposed. Bondage is real. So because bondage is real, a real thing cannot be destroyed or removed just by knowledge. How do you say that bondage is not superimposed but it is real? For which different arguments were given. It was said that there are different reasons because of which superimposition can take place, and none of these reasons can produce bondage. For bondage to be superimposition, none of these required reasons are present. Before we begin into our next journey, let me give you few points on which, or the premise on which, this argument is based. First of all, the opponent, the opposition, the person has said that all 5 reasons must be present. It is necessary for all the causes to be present. Just like for creation of pot maker along with the stick, mud, water, the wheel, everything should be present. In absence of any one of these, superimposition cannot be there. And he has proven from his standpoint that none of these are present in Brahman. None of the reasons are present in Brahman by which bondage can be superimposition. Or none of these causes are available for bondage to be superimposition. Where he said similarity is absent because nothing is similar to Brahman. Pramana prameya doshas are also not there. The means of knowledge and that which is known, or the knower, because knower and means of knowledge are part of bondage. And bondage, if it had to be superimposition requires knower and knowing to be present before. So, for this reason, pramana prameya doshas are also not present. What is left out is the part knowing in general and knowing in detail. There are no such parts by which specific knowledge or general knowledge of Brahman can take place. There is no such thing as general knowledge of Brahman and specific knowledge of Brahman. Why? Because such parts can be present or can be said to be present in an object which is along with parts. But in a partless thing, that which is homogeneous, that which is akhanda, no such parts can be present. So, because of all these reasons, the conclusion is in for bondage to superimposition, no causes are available. Therefore, bondage is real. He adds last point where he says, Brahmanah nirvisheshatvad adhyasa samagra bhavaha. Because Brahman is nirvishesha, no adhyasa samagri, no causes for superimposition can be present. Itopi brahmani bandhadhyasah na sambhavati. Therefore, in Brahman, bondage cannot be superimposition. Why? यतः अत्यंतम अविज्ञाते वा विशेषतः ज्ञाते वा अधिष्ठाने अध्यासः न संभवति. That which is known in detail or that which is not known at all, superimposition cannot be there. But विशेषतः अज्ञाते सामान्यतः ज्ञाते एव अधिष्ठाने अभ्यासः जायते. ब्रह्म ही सामान्य विशेषादि धर्म शून्यम निर्विशेषम इति च वेदांत सिद्धांतः. That which is known in general and that which is not known exactly how it is, in that object, in such condition, superimposition can take place. But in Brahman, there are no such things as Samanya Dharma or Vishesha Dharma. And this is not my saying, this is your Vedanta Siddhanta. Vedanta said so. तत् कथं ब्रह्म विशेषतः अज्ञातं सामान्यतः ज्ञातम् इति च वक्तुं शक्यते. Then how can you say that Brahman is known in general and it is not known specifically what it is? It's not possible. अपि च अध्यासलोभेन सामान्य विशेष धर्मकम् एव ब्रह्म इति यदि अभ्युपगम्येत तर्हि निर्विशेषं परं ब्रह्म इति अभ्युपगमहानिः स्यात्. And because you want to prove that superimposition can take place in Brahman, and for that if you say that Brahman has Samanya and Vishesha Dharma, then it is contrary to your own statement that Brahman is Nirvishesha, without any parts, without any details, etc. without any specifics, etc. एवंच निर्विशेष स्वप्रकाश स्वरूपे ब्रह्मणि विशेषा ज्ञानस्य सामान्य ज्ञानस्य च असंभवात् अध्यासः नैव युज्यते. Therefore, Brahman, which is nirvishesha and swaprakasha, without any parts and self-effulgent, in such a Brahman, ignorance of what Brahman is, or the specific part, knowledge specific if you want to say, and knowledge general, is impossible. It is impossible to say that you don't know Brahman in exactly what it is, and you cannot say I know Brahman just in general. Either Brahman will be known exactly what it is or it will not be known at all. तस्मात् ब्रह्मणि बन्धः अध्यस्तः इति न शक्यते एव वक्तुम्. Therefore, you cannot say that bondage is superimposed on Brahman. Pratyuta bandha satyah ityeva vaktavyam. But it is true that bondage is real. Satyashyet bandha na jnana nivarteta. And if bondage is real, it cannot be removed by knowledge. Tasmat asya granthasya jnana bandha jnanat bandha nivrutyat निवृत्त्यात्मक मोक्ष रूप प्रयोजन कथनम असंगतम स्यात्. Therefore, the prayojana, the purpose of this text, that by knowledge the bondage can be removed and that knowledge is being propounded in this text is not possible. You cannot say. Why? Because your prayojana itself is wrong. Now, with all these reasons, now he is going to continue with the argument how by karma bondage can be removed. You can't just make a statement that by karma bondage can be removed, but you have to prove. And that he is going to prove. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just read some parts and state, because unnecessary details I want to avoid, because it is not really necessary for us to go into the detailed argument of what karma is and how it is going to do. When it is going to be negated, when it is going to be answered, there again we are going to see that. So now the Purva Paksha opponent, he has made a statement. Karmana eva moksha siddhyati. By karma alone, moksha is possible. This idea, this doctrine is called as Ekabhavikavada. What is Ekabhavikavada? Ekabhava, only by karma. So this doctrine itself, Ekabhava, by one karma in one janma, moksha can be gained by performing certain karma or karma in certain way. Karma avashya kartavyam, karmanaha avashya kartavyam. Karma needs to be performed. You cannot avoid performance of karma. That which you have said earlier, opponent says that by knowledge bondage can be removed is baseless, as we have explained. And because now bondage is real, that thing which is real can be removed just by karma. For which we are going to give you an example. What is the cause of bondage? Why are you born? Because of karma. The bondage is because of your karma. You feel you are bound, you are experiencing sorrows, etc. Why? Because of your past karma. Therefore, karma alone can remove that bondage. Simple argument. That which is the cause, by that same means alone cause can be removed. You cannot say there is heat. For heat you need water. You cannot bring mrugajala, mirage water. So the answer must lie with karma alone. Then what is karma? What are the types of karma? He says karma vivaranam. He explains what are the types of karma. He says there are two types of karma. One is nishiddha vihita. Vihita or pratishiddha. That which has been enjoined, ordained, and that which has been opposed, that which has been avoided, negated, not ordained or prohibited, to be precise. That which one should do, pravrittim adhikrutya, that is vihita, and that one which should not do is pratishiddha. For vihita, there are 4 subclasses. It is of 4 types. Nitya, Naimittika, Kamya and Prayashchitta. Nitya, Naimittika, Kamya and Prayashchitta. What is Nitya Karma? What is Prayashchitta? What is Kamya? What is Naimittika? He says, Kamya Karma is that which is done for certain reason with desires. Any karma which is done with desires of gaining something, desire of gaining something, is a kamya karma. For example, A karma which is done with the desire of gaining Swargaloka will be Kamya karma. But if that same karma is done without any desire, then that cannot be Kamya karma. We had seen very much in the beginning how karma, which is the cause of bondage from Advaita standpoint, can also be cause for Antahkarana Shuddhi. When the karma is performed with desire, it is cause of bondage, but when it is performed without any desires, it gives us Chitta Shuddhi, purity of mind. Same argument he is using here. Later, based on this argument, he is going to prove certain point. So Kamya is taken care of. Then he comes to Naimittika karma. Naimittika karma is that karma which one should do but is based on some occasional reasons. It presupposes certain occasion or certain condition. So Shodasha Samskara, Naimittika karma. Any upasana anusthana done during the time of eclipse. Grahana kala. That is Naimittika karma. Why do you do that karma? The nimitta, the cause is Grahana kala, the duration of eclipse. So Sachi karma is Naimittika karma. And what is Nitya karma? Nitya karma is that which you have to perform, without performing which you are going to gain Pratyavaya Papa. He says that karma which one, by doing which person does not gain any punya or something beneficial. This karma is such that by doing which he is not going to gain something beneficial, something good. He is not going to gain punya. But by not performing which he definitely is going to gain papa. Such is Nitya karma. What is that? Sandhya, Agnihotra, Snana, etc. To addition to that, he adds in Naimittika karma paying respect to elders, etc. Now, these are the 5 types of karma. In Vedanta, they have added upasana. In Vedanta, elsewhere, they have added upasana into karma, upasana karma, as 6th one. So now we have 5. Let's stick with this. One is Nitya, Naimittika, Kamya, then Pratisiddha, Prayashitta and Pratishiddha. Why do you need what is Prayashitta karma? Prayashitta is that which you need to perform when you have done something nishiddha, something which has been prohibited, or something you have not performed even though which has been enjoined. When are you punished? When we are punished when we do not do something which we are supposed to do, and when we do something which we are not supposed to do. In the same way, when a karma which should not be done is performed because of some problem, some reason, let's say our own mistake, our own not being attentive, etc., or because of desire, momentary desires, etc., or we fail to perform that which we should do, for which we have to take do prayaschitta karma to rinse away the papa which has been gained by that. Now let's come to our discussion. We have prayaschitta, nishiddha or nishiddha, prayaschitta, and then kamya, naimittika, nitya. Separate out naimittika and nitya. Why? Because by not performing them you are going to gain papa. So you have to perform nitya and naimittika. You will have to perform prayaschitta when you do something pratishiddha. So do not perform anything which is pratishiddha. So when you are not performing anything which is pratishiddha and continuously performing nitya and naimittika, there is no need for prayaschitta. So we are left with three: kamya, naimittika and nitya. And if you are mumukshu, it is very much known that you should get rid of all your desires. And because you are trying to get rid of your desires, you are not going to perform kamya karma. So out of 5, you are not going to perform kamya karma, you are not going to perform pratishiddha karma or nishiddha karma, and you are continuously going to perform nitya and naimittika karma. Therefore, prayaschitta is also not required. The conclusion: the one who is desirous of moksha, what should he do? Mumukshuna nitya naimittika karmani kartavyani. The one who is desirous of moksha, what should he do? He should continuously perform nitya karma and naimittika karma. What will be the reason? What will be the phala? He says, tasmat mumukshu tani kamya nishiddhani karmani varjayitva sada nityani anutishtet sati cha nimitte naimittikani api. तस्मात् पापपरिहाराय नित्यनैमित्तिकानि कर्माणि अवश्यमनुष्ठेयान्येव. नित्यनैमित्तिककर्माणां तदनुष्ठान प्रयुक्त प्रत्यवाय परिहार एव फलं न तु फलान्तरमस्ति. तस्मात् अवश्यं नित्यनैमित्तिककर्माणि कुर्यादेव मुमुक्षुः. Conclusion is, you cannot run away from a mumukshu cannot run away or avoid not performing of these two. So he has to perform those, but he can avoid the other three. Then at certain moments, sometimes he may have to perform prayaschitta karma. When yah pramadat papam karma, because of not being vigilant, lack of attentiveness, etc., due to pramada, due to defect with himself, for some reason, let's say, if he performs anything which is nishiddha, then taddosha pariharaya tadukta prayashchittam tenanushteyam. The prayashchitta which have been ordained for that papa, for that karma, he should perform that prayaschitta karma. For which example has been given: a sannyasi, if he takes money, he has, by some reason or by mistake, for 3 days he has to not eat food or water. Anashana, upavasa. For 3 days he has to be without food, and during which he has to do certain anusthana, etc. That is the prayaschitta. Here author says there are prayashchittas are of 2 types. What are 2 types? One are in general, one are in specific. What do you mean by that? It is simple. Do you know all the Nishiddha karmas that you have done? No, it is impossible. So, that which you are aware of, that which you know, for those Nishiddha karma, do prayashchitta which has been ordained for those specific karma. तत्र च इह जन्मनि बुद्धिपूर्वकृत पाप परिहाराय शास्त्रोक्त असाधारण प्रायश्चित्तम करायते. असाधारण, न साधारणम, असाधारणम. That which is very much specific about the mistake, that prayaschitta karma should be done. Why? So that that papa, the effect of that papa will be washed off, will go away. Another argument. But I am aware of all papa karma, let's say, which I have performed in this janma. But what about past lives? Or something which I have done in this life but I am not aware of? For that, he has to perform sadharana prayaschitta. And by performing that sadharana prayaschitta, what is going to happen is, he says, साधारण प्रायश्चित्तेन सर्वाण्यपि पापानि निवर्तन्ते. All papa karma, all papa karma phala are going to go away by performing sadharana prayashchitta, and also those specific. So if you are want to separate out or understand it in this way. For anything wrong which has been done in this life, the 77th part, Narayanji, the number 77. So anything which has been done in this life, don't go along with the display which is down there. I did not write this whole thing down because it would have taken unnecessary time. That's why I have not prepared the slides for this. I deleted them all. Anyways, so sadharana prayaschitta dvividham phalam. Now for prayaschitta, again author adds, or the opponent adds, because he is smart. He says, when you are doing any prayaschitta which is very much specific, asadharana, you are aware that you have done that papa karma in this life. So by performing that prayaschitta in this life, it is not going to create any papa for future birth, if any. So that account is closed. What about the account which has been there? To put in terms of economics, the loan that which you have taken in this financial year, you have repaid. But what about the loan which has been there for many past years? You have to pay that. What can you do? One lump sum amount you can just put it in there and take care of it. Same way. But it can be done in two ways. You can take loan from different bank and put that money, use that money for repaying earlier loan. So yet you are left with some loan. And you can say that with the money which I have, with the business which I am running right now, I can repay that loan. But at least I don't have to give surplus interest for my earlier loans. In the same way, if somebody thinks that all the papas which I have performed so far, let me wash them away so that I can gain more and more results of punya which I am going to earn in this life, he is a sakama. So prayaschitta performed by sakama, a desirous person, is going to, what is going to happen? Ganga snanadi sadharana prayaschittani न केवल प्रायश्चित्तत्वेन भवन्ति किन्नु काम्यानि भवन्ति कामिनां प्रायश्चित प्रायश्चित्तरूपाणि च भवन्ति पापक्षये. That same thing, when it is done with desire, it is not really going to wash off that papa. It may certainly give punya. It may certainly give the result of punya, but it is not going to wash off papa. When that karma is done with the intention, the desirous of washing away all the sins, the papa, that will be a prayaschitta karma. So mumukshu, because mumukshu is not desirous of anything. Mumukshu does not desire anything from this life or anything else. Therefore, what is going to happen? When he performs such a prayaschitta karma, his earlier papas, they are going to get washed off. तथा गंगा स्नान ईश्वर नामोच्चारणादिकं कर्म सकामस्य काम्यं प्रायश्चित्त रूपं च भवति. इट इज काम्यं प्रायश्चित्त रूपं. निष्कामस्य तु मुमुक्षोः केवल प्रायश्चित्त रूपं. तस्मात् मुमुक्षुणा साधारण प्रायश्चित्तम् अनुष्ठेयम्. इत्थमेव जन्मांतर संचितं सर्वमपि पापं ज्ञानं विना एव नश्यति. What will happen? Janmantara, sanchita papa, that accumulated papa karma from all previous births will be washed off by performing general prayaschitta karma in this life without knowledge, jnana. You are foolishly studying this whole Vedanta unnecessarily, that even though that which you don't understand each and every day, every Saturday, every day. Why? Just go one time to that Ganga, do Ganga Snana, do Nama, Ishvara Nama, you are taken care of. A very good and tantalizing argument. It may be attractive, but there are certain fallacies which we will see later. Mumukshoho sanchitam kamya karma na phala hetu. Now he says, for mumukshu, sanchita and kamya karma na phala hetu. Kincha mumukshoho janmantaranushthitani kamya karmani vandhyavat phalam na prasuvate. Just like a barren woman, for a mumukshu, all earlier sanchita karma, etc., cannot give him karma phala. Now, this is a totally different argument. You can add weird if you want to say, because we have never thought about it in this way, which is a very interesting way to see the way he has thought. He says, यथा वेदांत सिद्धांते कर्मानुष्ठान काले सत्यामेव फलेच्छायां तत्कर्म स्वर्गादिलोक प्राप्ति ही हेतुर्भवति. फलेच्छा अभावे तु स्वर्गादि फल प्राप्ति ही हेतु न भवति. He uses our own argument. When you are performing certain karma, if you have desire, you will get the result of that karma in that way. You perform certain karma with the desires of gaining swarga. What do you get? You go to swarga. But if you perform that same karma without any desire, what's going to happen? That karma is not going to give you its effect, the result. You are not going to go to swarga, is it not? Yes. Similarly, तथा एकभाविकवादेपि कर्मणः सिद्ध्यनन्तरमपि पुरुषेच्छा एव फलहेतुः. What they argue is the phala of karma will go to that person who is desirous. Interesting way of thinking. Let's say you have some fixed deposit in your bank. So periodically you are getting the interest of that amount. Now, because you are not desirous of that amount, you say, I don't want that. Let it come. Is it going to affect you? No. In the same way, let there be Sanchita Karma. Sanchita Karma is going to give result, effect to only that. So, Punya, Sanchita Punya Karma we are talking about. Papa Karma has been taken care of. Why? Sadharana Prayashita has been done. Now, because you are not desirous, why will that karma come to you and give you effect, result? Only if you are desirous, then alone it will get converted into giving results. Otherwise it is not. तथापि इदानीं तस्यैव पुरुषस्य मुमुक्षत्वेन फलेच्छा निवृत्तौ तदीय संचितं काम्यं न फलहेतुर्भवति भवति. Now because this person is desirous of moksha, that sanchita karma cannot be cause for giving its results. It cannot give its result. Okay. पश्चात् कतिपयकालानन्तरं येन केनचित् हेतुना भाग्योदये so he gives the example. He says a person is continuously asking for money from a wealthy person. A beggar is asking for money from a wealthy person, and beggar goes on giving him money. Now this person, now after he has become rich, will he desire for the money which he is gaining from that person? No. That is not going to be of any use for him. Why? Because now he is rich. In the same way, once he has become mumukshu, what is the reason for the phala of that karma? Not at all. Why should he encash that karma to gain anything good in this life now? He is not going to encash that sanchita karma. So now the punya of sanchita, the punyatmaka sanchita, is also taken care of. You are not going to encash that, so it is not going to affect you. It will affect you only when you encash. If you disown that, done. Why you have disowned? Because you are a mumukshu. Mumukshoho prarabdham bhogena nashyati. Okay, let's come to prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma bhogena nashyati. By experiencing, by going through, prarabdha karma gets over. Vartamana janmani kamya nishiddha कर्म अननुष्ठानात् ऊर्ध्वाधो लोक प्राप्तिः न संभवति. Now what has happened is, in this life you have not done any kamya karma, and because you have not performed any kamya karma, you are not going to go to any higher loka. You have not performed any nishiddha karma. So in this life, because you have not performed any nishiddha karma, you are not going to go into adholoka, narkadi loka. Of course you have done prayaschitta karma, so there is no reason for you to go into any of the other loka after this life. Okay. Now sanchita karma, which would have given its results either in terms of papa or in terms of punya, in form of next prarabdha, you have disowned that sanchita karma. How? By performing general parayaschitta, the papatmaka effect, the papa phala of that sanchita karma has been washed off. And the punyatmaka karma, you are not interested at all. And if you are not interested, that karma is not going to come to you. So sanchita taken care of, nothing is going to give result from this life. Now what is left out? What's left out is prarabdha. जन्मांतरीयाणां प्रारब्ध फलानां निषिद्ध काम्य कर्माणां भोगेन इव क्षयः. Now prarabdha karma is that sanchita karma which has started giving its result in this life, which I cannot avoid. Bhogena kshayah. Endure, experience, they will go away. So what's going to happen is तस्मात् मुमुक्षुणा नित्य नैमित्तिक साधारण प्रायश्चित्त रूपाणि कर्माणि अनुष्ठेयानि वर्तमान जन्मनि बुद्धिपूर्वम् आचरित पाप कर्म क्षयार्थम असाधारण प्रायश्चित्तमपि अनुष्ठेयमेव. In conclusion, what is going to happen is, what is going to give you the next birth? The next birth is because of karma. Now, let's remove that karma itself. Let's remove that cause so that no next birth will be there. There are two possible causes for next birth. One, from the karmas which have been performed in this life, or karmas which have been performed in all my earlier lives. I am not going to perform any karma which is going to be the cause for next life, in this life itself. So, no next birth is possible from this something which I have performed in this life, for which I should not do any kamya karma. I should not do any nishiddha karma. If required, I may have to do parayashitta karma, but I should continuously perform nitya and naimittika karma, because not performing those is going to result in papa, which will give result or which will be the cause for next life. But what about all the previous lives? The papa of all the previous karmas is washed off by sadharana prayashitta karma. I am not interested at all in the phala of punya karma. Because I am not interested, those phala are not going to be cause of giving results for me. Because only when I desire, that phala is going to come to me. If I am not desirous of that, it is not going to come to me. Furthermore, even though we have said, in reality, mumukshu is not required to perform prayashitta karma. Mumukshoho prayashittam api anavashyakam. अथवा मुमुक्षुणा नित्य नैमित्तिक कर्म मात्र अनुष्ठेयम प्रायश्चित्त रूपम कर्म त्यक्तुम शक्यते. He can give up prayashitta also. Why? Just by performing nitya and naimittika karma. Here he has added certain points. I am not going to go into details. But what he had said is, or let's go, because they are very good to see. Mumukshoho sanchita nishiddha kamya karmani nishphalani bhavanti. For a mumukshu, sanchita karma, nishiddha and kamya karma are not going to yield any fruits. Why? Sanchita he is not desirous of, nishiddha he is not going to perform, and kamya, because he is mumukshu, kamya is not going to give any result. यथा वेदांतीनां मते ज्ञानिनः संचित कर्माणि नश्यन्ति इति उच्यते. The one who is jnani jivan mukta, for him, as Vedantin say, sanchita karmas are cleared. In the same way, in our argument, sanchitani sakalanyapi karmani kshiyante. All such sanchita karmas will get destroyed. Why? No purpose at all for them to exist. अथवा संचितानि काम्यनिषिद्धानि कर्माणि सकलानि अपि संभूय एक एव अन्य जन्म प्रयच्छेयुः मुमुक्षोः. Or even if you want to say, then for them there will be cumulative one birth in which they will be taken care of. Only in one birth whatever that may have been left out, they will come together, give you one another birth, and through that birth, through that pararabdha, they will be taken care of. Or it is also possible for a yogi, he may experience those in kaya vyuha through experiencing different bodies, etc. And or they may get converted into different form which will come as experiences to him, and through that they will be experienced by him in one birth itself. Those which are cause of many births will be experienced in one birth itself and taken care of. अथवा नित्य नैमित्तिकानुष्ठान जनित क्लेश एव जन्मांतर संचित निषिद्ध कर्माणाम फलम भवति. Or also you can say that the pain, the dukkha, the sorrows which are experienced in performing nitya and naimittika karma, through that sorrows, all the results of sanchita karma are taken care of. Nishiddha karma are taken care of. So, because now all of these reasons, tasmat सदा नित्यकर्माणि निमित्ते सति नैमित्तिकानि च अवश्यम अनुष्ठान्येव शास्त्रीय प्रसिद्ध्या तु अस्य मतस्य एकभाविकवादः इति व्यपदेशः. In शास्त्रीय भाव it is called as एकभाविकवाद. एकभाविकं नाम एकमेव जन्म कर्मैव वा मोक्ष साधनम् इति वादः. One karma alone is enough for gaining moksha. One karma, one janma. कर्म एव मोक्ष साधनम इति प्रतिपादक मतस्य शास्त्रे ऐकभाविकवाद इति प्रसिद्ध. So by karma alone moksha can be gained is the doctrine which is known as Ekabhavikavada, Aikabhavikavada. And because by karma alone you are going to clear out all your account, which is going to give result to your next karma, you don't require jnana. कर्मणा एव बंध निवृत्तिः सिद्धेः अयम ग्रंथः विफलः. Based on all these arguments, because by performing karma alone, all karmas can be washed off, which can be the cause of next birth or births. You do not need jnana. बंध निवृत्तिस्तु एतद् ग्रंथ जनित ज्ञानम अंतरा कर्मणा एव जायेत इति न अस्य ग्रंथस्य प्रयोजनम. Because by karma you can destroy bandha. By jnana alone moksha can be gained is baseless, and because your prayojana is wrong, the composition of this text is wrong, for which the answers are going to be given, and answers are going to be direct, straightforward, but how it is going to be answered we will see next time. Again, next time we will just directly see the answers and will not go into the detailed argument. Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amratangamaya Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.